Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pittsburgh Pinball Open. We will be going and starting coverage of Classics 3 finals. I'm Pete Hendricks. I'm joined by Brian Dye and Elizabeth Cromwell. And tonight we'll be watching the final 2 rounds of Classics 3. And here's where we currently stand. We started out with 24 people in the finals and
A-Division finals.
A-Division finals, correct. In the first round, we see Steve Bowden with a 12, destroying his group, and some schlub named Pete Hendricks getting eliminated. We move on to the quarterfinals. Eric Stone with a big game on Jumping Jack to survive elimination and have a chance for the three-peat this weekend. His group will be following in finals. John Raploga with a 12, playing really well. And now we take a look at our semifinal groups. The group that we will be following is Eric, Walt, Jason, and Alexander. They'll be starting on Old Chicago. The other group, very strong players, John, Luke, Steve, and Evan on Blackjack. So Eric's probably got to be considered the favorite here since he's already won the first 2, and he's getting to choose his games for all 3 games.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He really dug himself out of a hole there in the last round, and he's got to be feeling good, you know, that whenever you're in a tight spot kind of behind the 8 ball and you're able to pull through and pull out a win, that really, at least in my experience, helped boost your confidence, especially going into a semifinals round. You know, having the luxury of picking all of the games and position, you know, at least for that first spot, is a huge advantage going through this format in finals. So, yeah, Eric is definitely in a good spot right now.
So I have a legitimate question, like honest 100% question here. You are driving the bus. You get to pick the game.
Mm-hmm.
Why on earth would you pick Old Chicago?
If you feel comfortable on it.
Yeah, I mean, when I put in a really quick ticket on this game after one of my main qualifying tickets, and I felt really, really good on it. I put up a really, a decent score, and when I played it in finals, it was terrible. You know, if Eric is feeling it on this machine, if he gets, especially if you're getting a feel for how this return right here out of the collect bonus shot, how that feels, is returned to the flippers. If he feels it's controllable, Eric is known for that slow control style play. If he thinks that's something
now,
he can work to his benefit.
You just said a bunch of words that are completely contradictory in my mind, like methodical control.
And Old Chicago.
And Old Chicago.
Absolutely.
That's not a thing that goes together at all, 100%. Especially when you've got a bank with Supersonic and Galaxy and Gorgar and what else is over there? Mars Trek.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that. Oh, and there he gets a.
Now this is interesting because Eric picked this as his first game in the quarterfinals as well and took last on it, and that's what started his hole.
It is interesting. Oh, it is. Yeah, okay.
So Amy Cavell-Murphy runs a tournament here every year. She's run it, I think, 3 or 4 years in a row. It's called the Flip Off Alzheimer's Tournament, and it's run on the longest day of the year, and the point of the tournament is to have the longest game, the longest by minutes game. And I'm always in charge of picking these games for her, and I think the first year I picked Spanish Eyes because, like, come on. And last year it was Old Chicago because, seriously, we just watched 2 balls come and go.
Right,
like,
absolutely.
This is not a long playing game. This is not a game I really feel that most people know how to control.
Sure.
It's not the game I would, if I were Eric Stone, it's not the game that I would think Eric Stone would pick.
Maybe he looked at the historical scores of his opponents. I mean, there are multiple ways.
Fair.
There are a lot of different ways.
Just likes the art. I don't know.
Maybe there's another house ball. So we're in a barn burner here on Old Chicago.
It's called Old House Ball.
Old House Ball.
Yep.
Thanks, Steve Daniels, for joining us tonight in the 100 biddies. That's awesome. Solomon Grundy asking, did Eric's 400 hold up? He ended up at 390. Someone beat one of his scores, but still,
wow.
3 firsts and a second on a qualifying ticket is just
and Classics
remarkable.
Massive.
Yeah, it's a really, really good ticket. Because Classics games at heart are, kind of, as we've talked about, a little more uncontrollable, a little bit more random. So, very well done. He's had a very strong weekend over here in the Classics Bank. So we have Walt Lannis here, cradling up.
Completely proving me wrong when I said that it's not really possible to have an exacting game on. Like, he literally just had the longest ball.
Yeah, by
we've
cradling.
seen.
Yeah,
Yep.
he got one flip. Congratulations, Walt.
Yay, one
You
flip.
put good
It's a
use to that
drinking
one
game.
flip.
If you're playing along at home, every time somebody flips, drink.
Oh, if I know that's going on, I'm just flipping before the ball starts.
Yeah. So that skill shot up top, per se, is pretty valuable. I mean, 3,000 points is nothing to sneeze at on this game.
No.
As you can see, it can end pretty quick. So
Now look at
Oh,
dropped
unfortunately.
that one, but
that was a
Eric
good ball, though. That was a really good ball.
Eric was starting to get the feel of that kick out of there and getting a trap and then putting it back up in there. If you can get control out of that scoop, it's very repeatable.
yeah, it looks like he was trying to do a drop catch off that saucer, which if he can pull that off, I'd be really super impressed. So that spinner on the left-hand side of the
Alexander looked like he was getting ready for the nudge to keep it out of the right out lane, and then when it came back inside, he wasn't quite ready for it.
This
Yeah.
game is so hard. You don't have your typical in lanes. You don't have, like, it's not like Doodlebug where you have no ability to cradle.
Exactly.
But you have to be precise in catching that ball and holding it before you can flip. It's a really hard game to get a control.
And another thing that's hard to get used to is these aren't slings. It's just dead plastic.
Dead plastic.
You get so used to the balls kicking when it's in that area, and you'll see a player try to trap up, and then it'll hit that plastic and bounce off of it. And
Wow.
So a nice
Two
shot to the spinner
nice
on the
shots.
fly from Jason Pittsburgher.
nice bonus collect there, 5,000.
So the bonus is determined by how many letters in Old Chicago that you are able to collect. That's done by advancing the spinner. Once you spin it a certain number of times and the light reaches
Nicely
advanced
done.
bonus, just like it did there twice. And now a third time, that will advance letters.
Even going through backwards.
Oh,
Big shot there.
Very
Wow.
big shot there. I feel like Jason historically is always in the mix in these classics tournaments as well, whether it be at PPO or Papa.
We have two Pittsburghers here who don't travel much, but are very good players in Jason and Walt.
That was a fantastic ball
That was a
by
great
Jason.
ball.
I was actually having a conversation last night with somebody about the fact that Jason Bokor has been somebody that I've known for several years now, and to see him come up the way that he has and to watch him slowly progress and get better in league and tournament play, he's just one of the nicest guys in the entire area.
100%. 100%.
He's been playing for a long time, too. I look back in my first Papa where I finished second in C. The other three finalists were some guy named John Replogle, Jason Boker, and then we all got whipped by Mike Clinton, but still. I mean, that was so long ago. And then a long time ago, there was a Cupids and Canines event held at Papa, and this Jason Boker guy won the game. It was a game giveaway. He won a free circus. Still has it.
So Eric Stone stepping back up here. You know, and that's the other thing that's really got some of these players in trouble this particular game. You know, those pop bumpers that are down by the flippers, I mean, they can be absolutely lethal. You know, if you don't have a really, really, really quick response time, and even if you do have the, really quick response time, those can be deadly.
Now, this is a very important ball, as ball 3 and 5 are all double bonus. You can tell by the light there in the middle. So if you're going to avoid if you're going to have 3 house balls, have it be 1, 2, and 4.
Exactly, exactly.
Now, the double doesn't carry for the collect bonus in the middle. It's just the bonus at the end of the ball.
Correct.
But still, getting this single bonus and then a double at the end is really nice if you can build it up here.
Does tilt in game on this, or is it?
It does not.
Okay.
Sorry, Pete, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, it's fine. There were a couple games in Classics this weekend that tilt did end bonus, and I don't know why that makes me so completely afraid to even touch the machine in a nudging manner or anything. I'm just like, I don't want to end it.
You know, have a game end that quick.
Yeah.
Those games in the bank are...
Classics 3 today actually had Spanish Eyes in it as well, which is a tilt ends game.
Yes.
And it went down just a little bit before finals.
Yeah,
Oh,
2001.
look at that.
That is very
29920
close.
versus 29910.
Oh. Yeah, we had, real quick, major props to Nick Jacquet and the other techs and volunteers that helped out this weekend. Did a really, really good job of keeping up with things as best they could. There was some issues with Spanish Eyes, but even, with the people they've had here, everything's been run really, really smoothly. And I know, I don't know if I can speak for all the players, but I sure hope I can, that all the hard work and time and effort that goes into running these tournaments is appreciated. So thank you to the volunteers, techs, tournament directors, so on and so forth.
You can speak for me.
I'll speak for Pete.
Well, thank you, Brian.
You're so very welcome.
You were not here on Thursday when Pete just straight up destroyed a game. What game was that? You completely
that's
Super Orbit.
he broke the crap out of Super Orbit.
Well, it's a Gottlieb System 1, so you're forgiven.
It didn't final.
But
that was
it
a
had
nice
been 8
touch.
years that game has been a tank, and
8
bad
years,
prepare.
and then Pete was like, "I will get my revenge."
Still 54,000. Jason with a
he's
very good
commanding
game so
lead.
far.
So yeah, it's super, super important not to tilt on these balls either. So like it can be, kind of what's the word I'm looking for? You might be a little motivated to go for that big save, but you really have to remember on games like this. that
These
it's
old
not
games
the
rely
time.
on your bonus.
Oh yeah, big time.
Big time.
Big time.
And you don't want to try to shake it away in the hopes of saving, an immediate ball.
Absolutely.
Walt with a shot there off the post and right down the middle, but
He
moved
gets his
into
double
second
bonus.
place.
Gets his double bonus for going down the middle.
No, it's a simple skill shot. It just takes a lot of nudging.
Yeah.
There's the rubbers up at the top will change the light back and forth, and nothing there can do with that.
Yeah, it's just one
That
of those.
pop bumper at the
that-
hitting right at the bottom is just almost always a disaster.
Yep. But it can be skillfully done up top. With the top lanes, once you get a feel for, what the ball's going to do on your first couple plunges, you can figure it out.
Now Alexander's going to try to plunge short, and he got a little too much into it, but he's going to nudge. And
Oh,
nicely
he reads
done.
it perfectly.
He got
gets
lucky that he didn't hit the right side of the rubber there, that rebound rubber up top. So Alec is another. I feel like I met Alec the first, and Zachary Parks too. Like I feel like when I first started playing, 4 or 5 years ago now, these were just like little kids that were just coming onto the scene, and now they're both monsters.
Yeah.
They're both just absolute monsters.
He's had a good path so far to get to this point. He needed to play a tiebreaker for the 24th seed, and he won that. And then he was in my group in the first round, and it came down to me, him, and Mahesh. Whoever won between the three of us on 2001 was good to go,
Oof.
and he put up 7,000.
Oh.
House ball, but he's still sitting really pretty right
Man,
now.
if you're gonna have a house balls 1, 2, and 4 is when you want to do it.
So a full plunge there from Walt.
I did not get a chance to play Old Chicago earlier today. I only got a chance to put in one ticket into Classics 3. So how was this playing for you guys? Was it
I wasn't touching it with a 10-foot pole.
correct answer, sir? Correct answer.
I played it once. I think this is on the one ticket. I think I rolled it. I felt really good with it. I thought the kick out from that center collect bonus shot was really controllable. I was able to, cradle up on the
I'm
right
sorry,
flipper.
He tilt
Yes.
before he drained. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So then I just want to point out that he stomped the floor hard enough that we could feel it over here. If I were the next player, I wouldn't touch that for
Yeah, I
a
would-
good
I would wait.
60, 90 seconds because he just agitated the tilt bob a little bit more. So how did you feel the kick out was?
I thought it was pretty controllable. I mean, it would almost feed it to the middle of the right flipper. Could cradle up on the left. Rinse and repeat. Kind of a la Keith Elwin in the Illinois State Championships a couple of years ago. If that video is still out there anywhere, and you want a clinic on how to play Old Chicago, or any game really, that's the video to watch. It was something else. But I can understand why people would be hesitant to play this game because, as we've seen over the course of 11 or 12 balls now, it can be over in a heartbeat. This is that game that I would pick if I had a blown ticket and I just needed to try to get the feel for something.
Exactly. The other reason I would pick this game is if I was certain that nobody else knew how to play it. Like if it's an equalizer game that we're all going to be on a level playing field, that would be a game like Old Chicago that way.
Or if you're playing somebody that's really good at like solid states or
There you go,
control play, this can become an equalizer. I mean, you should always believe that you can beat anyone, but let's be realistic here. Sometimes, nice bounce from the pop bumper there. Sometimes you want to take the luck box.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes that can work both ways. Sometimes it can work for you or it can work heavily against you.
I don't think Old Chicago is a luck box. I don't think it's as skillful as a more modern game. I don't think it's as skillful as playing something like I said before, Supersonic or Galaxy or Mars Trek in this bank, but it's an interesting choice as an equalizer.
Okay, so Alexander gets to 57, assuming that Jason doesn't tilt, he will get past Alexander, but Alexander's sitting in second place right now.
And then you've still got Walt as a player 4, and he could have a monster ball or he could have a house ball. That's just how this game goes.
But, I mean, Jason's going into this ball with a good thought, and he's like, I already got 2 wrapped up. Now let's pull away from Walt and get the win. Getting the win in the first game is so big. In
Nice.
Any round, really.
Yeah.
Now, you can notice he's not doing full flips. His flips are controlled with putting just enough effort on it to aim it towards the middle, or it's a fine skill to practice.
Walt has to make up 30,000 points on this ball in order to beat Jason.
Yeah. So Walt's first steps get past Alexander, and then worry about nothing he can do.
There's nothing you could do there.
And there goes your house ball.
Welcome to Old Chicago.
So Jason will get 4, Alexander 2,
Walt
1, and Eric will need to come back again. But as we saw from the standings earlier, he took a 0 in the first game and still survived.
He's completely capable of coming back from a 0 and just dominating the next 2 games. It's really going to depend because the high seed, Eric in this case, he gets to drive the bus the whole time. He gets to pick the games the whole way if he wants, so it'll be really interesting to see what else he chooses and how he makes those selections.
And just over to our left, Luke just has hit the win. They're playing blackjack and the hand win shot, and he now has enough points. He will win that game, so he'll be at 4. Steve at 2, John at 1, and Evan 0 in the second group. While they're getting
Luke's,
ready,
still counting up. His bonus is literally still counting. Just gonna go.
Going and
listen to the
We're
dinging
here.
next to us.
We're here.
Oh, it stopped finally.
The sound of victory. While they're getting ready to move to the second game, we'll take a moment here to visit one of our advertisers, Comet Pinball.
Comet Pinball has the largest selection of lighting products for your pinball machines. LEDs can brighten up your game while reducing heat and power consumption. Whether you're a collector, operator, restorer, or mod maker, you'll always find low prices, fast shipping, and great service with Comet Pinball. Visit them on Facebook at Comet Pinball, Twitter, Comet Pinball, or Instagram at Comet Pinball.
And take a look again at the standings. Jason and Luke are off to great starts. Eric and Evan have their work cut out for them, but anything's possible in a 3-game set.
Looking at B Division here, we took 16 instead of 24 into B Division. And we're going into the finals here with Todd Williams, Amon, Andy Pickens, who's up from West Virginia, and Kevin Vitale.
Andy won the B Division last night as well, so he's going for 2 titles.
He is.
Taking our trophies out of Pittsburgh.
Hey, sorry. Andy's come a long way. I met Andy a couple of years ago down in Morgantown, and the group that we've kind of built down there. Andy's really he's a 2-time league champion down there. So he's a good player. He's come a long way. So we're happy to see that he's doing well for sure.
Absolutely. We always love having new people come up to the PPO and check it out and try to compete. Like playing in your local league, awesome. Playing in a little bit of a bigger tournament, awesome. Yep. Playing in an even bigger tournament, more awesome.
Got to get your feet wet at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gorgie.
Gorgar.
This Gorgar looks strangely familiar.
Of all the 3 classic banks, this was the only game that was used as a repeat.
Yes, because it was supposed to be Jungle Queen, and Jungle Queen, I guess, didn't make it over. And then Time Zone was actually in the bank, but Time Zone died before we started this morning.
So I would like to know who made the decision to not put outlane rubbers on this machine.
What do you need outlane rubbers for?
Oh my God. On Gorgar? Really? Oh, the game's already hard enough.
I'm going to make a wild assumption. Is that a... Oh, wait, you know what? That's not our Gorgar. That's the
Gorgar from the dojo.
From the dojo. So one of the sadists here, I'm going to guess Nick Jacquet.
Yeah, it's Nick Jacquet, yes.
Now, Nick.
Yeah, this was in the Classic 1 finals, and this was a game that Eric, he started out on, and he was struggling with it, but by the final round, he had figured out where the Schatz was, and he was making it clinical, and you can see here he's starting and trying it again.
With that flipper bounce, on that left flipper, that's really impressive. That's tough to do regularly, but with it, you see that little bit of flipper hop. The fact that he's able to do that consistently is something else. Basically what he's going for here, once he collects 10,000 points in bonus, and you'll notice that right here, once he collects 10,000 points in bonus, his spinner right here is going to be lit for 1,000 a spin, which is some pretty valuable monies in Gorgar.
And shatzing those in lane is how he's building up his bonus?
Yes. So each in lane will advance him 1,000 in bonus, and you see now that his spinner is lit up by that snake head.
Oh! Now you saw he was continuing to go there, so he may be taking the max bonus strategy, which...
That does work. It can work. I mean, if you can do that consistently, by all means, go right ahead. Me personally, the strategy I tend to take, especially on this one that I noticed, I will normally shoot up into that little saucer right there. It gives you a nice controlled feed to your left flipper, post transfer, and do it all over again. It advances your bonus. See, if there was a rubber outlane there, he would have been fine.
And he knew he was in trouble. You could see he reacted to the machine so early.
Yep.
It wasn't not the right move there. But
he's got Alec vision. He knew that was going to happen yesterday.
Also, I love the sounds in this game.
I do too. Oh, they're great. They're great. All the sounds from the Williams, like System 6 through 11, are some of the best. Like probably one of the best parts of pinball in general, are the sounds that came out of this era of pinball. Really, really great stuff.
Now, they played this game last round. Alec and Eric did. Alec 448,000. Eric 275,000. The other groups did not play it.
So the ABC lanes up top will advance the bonus multiplier. Oh, that was going to be a stuck ball. Not something that I would really go for intentionally. But I mean, it is there.
Lanes.
Yeah, you can't change the lanes. I don't think that was implemented yet at the time this was made, or that might be a setting. I'm not sure.
No,
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure lane change wasn't here yet. So the other thing to consider when playing this game, and you have decisions to make. So it's a little early. Yeah. Whenever you collect, you get to 10,000 in bonus in your spinner lights. Well, when you get to 20,000 in bonus, that spinner turns off, and it is no longer lit for 1,000 a spin.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the other thing, too, is whenever you go through the ABC lanes, it's worth 3,000 in bonus. So that light turns off pretty quick. So you really want to get maximal spinach out of that spinner when you do have it lit.
Now, Eric's stake wasn't too costly as he's in the lead through one ball. Good question in the chat, is the Spanish Eyes the one from Papa?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
That was one of the most exciting games of pinball that I've watched in a long time. Was in the women's intergalactic
It was
tournament.
Finals remarkable.
Oh
Insane.
my gosh!
Insane.
Really, really great stuff from that tournament on that game.
Big shot there by Eric, getting the 50,000.
So it's just on the fly shatzing, which sounds like a medical problem, but I assure you it's not.
Dr. Brian Dye assures us that it is not a medical problem.
No.
So he's got the star that's lit next to the 2X and the 3X. What's the star mean?
That star means that he has collected lights. Pretty sure 1, 2, 3, and 4. And once that happens, it's either worth a special or lots of points or something like that. I wish I had a better answer for you. Chatland, if you know what happens, you can tune in and win a prize.
He's got a
Or
snake lit up
A, B,
there.
or A, B, C, and D. D is, you see the green light here. And then the A, B, C lights up top. I think completing those end lanes might have something to do with the stars. Oh, it's points into bonus, I'm pretty sure. What that does.
Both stars. He got 2X for finishing ABC.
His little flutter flips to keep this within the in lanes are just beautiful.
It's a lot of practice, a lot of patience, a lot of skill. Doing this just scares me.
Whew.
Yeah, wild stuff. Especially
He's nudging to a degree that I would find frightening. Like, I am going to tilt if I am nudging this much.
Well,
This
he's
is
almost got the
something-
bonus maxed.
This is something that he really excels at in Cleveland, not this past year, but the year before when Centaur was in the main bank. That was his strategy. And I think it was his strategy here this weekend too, was to shats those in lanes to build up his bonus, and then in Centaur you get the added bonus of starting multi-ball.
I think
So-
the year that he won nationals, this was one of the games, and he did this as well. Once he figures out the shats, he gets
Wow.
dialed in, and
So the heartbeat
There's
is
the
going
Beautiful.
faster.
Oh, it
he
didn't
missed
count.
it.
tough break there, but still monster ball. He'll be around 300.
You hate to see that, though. You do all this build-up, you do all of this work to light the thing, and you shoot the thing, and it doesn't happen.
Yep,
Story of my pinball life.
that's pinball.
Now, one interesting thing, the extra balls are on this game.
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't know if the players are aware of it, but
Harlem
They're-
Globetrotters.
well, at least
circa
Walt
2000.
Walt is
look at
because
this.
I saw him get one.
There were a few games this weekend where the extra balls were on, and the rule was play it as it lies. If you've got extra balls, you play the extra balls.
So it looks
Now,
like
some of them you can't turn it off. Like we had 18-12 in the women's bake. You cannot turn off extra balls. It's just a thing that happens. But others, I was kind of surprised to see, like, this is the thing. An extra ball. Cool.
so. Alec looks like he might be modifying his strategy a little bit and taking on Eric's shatzing strategy.
Yeah.
And if there's anybody that can do it, it's the kid from
it's this kid.
Pittsburgh.
Okay, so he's got his spinner lit. He's got his pit lit.
So this is a point where I would almost exclusively go for the spinners just to
Oh.
like, start. Oh, look at
Gorgeous.
that. Good Lord. Gorgeous Gorgie.
Did it count? Yes, it did. No, it didn't.
No,
did
it didn't
not.
count it. No, it's got to go
Got it.
all the way back and
It's
hit
got
the
to
spot
grab
target.
it.
There it
That's
is.
the
Nice
one.
shot.
50,000.
Oh!
It's he was expecting. It looked like he was anticipating some flipper hop there, and it didn't happen.
Yep.
Threw off his timing, but a great ball from Alec there. A great effort. So we got Jason stepping up here.
No, I don't know if shatzing is in Jason's skill set, but let's assume it's not. What do you do when you see players using an advanced skill and building up monster scores, and you know you have to just grind and, well
you
shatzing
house
ain't
ball.
going to help anything
Yeah,
there.
house ball, first of all. My strategy would be, and like I'm actually pretty good at shatzing, but if you're not really good at shatzing, I would try to get as much control as possible, grab that ball on the flipper, and then shoot that saucer, and then shoot your snake and shoot your pop bumpers. Like The in-lanes are worth points, but there are other ways to get points on this table.
Sure. And I mean, the shatzing of the in lanes might be safe if you're good at it, but like if I had any advice for, less experienced players, if you see that happening, like I think the best advice that I could give is like stick with what you know.
Yeah.
Like don't
Exactly.
overextend yourself and start trying to do things in a finals situation that you're
Don't
not
get
familiar
fancy.
with doing. Don't get fancy. Like you made it to finals doing what you were doing while you were qualifying. Like you can keep doing those things here.
Sometimes
Take these things that the more experienced players that are doing the things that you're not familiar seeing, take those home with you and practice those things. But now's not the time to try to add that to your repertoire of flipper skills.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
Okay, so Walt's got his pit lit for 50. He's also got his spinner lit.
Oh,
Nice.
with the back handy.
That was pretty.
Back handy dandy.
And here's Walt doing exactly what we said. Get control. Hit the saucer. Hit the bumpers. Hit the snake up there. Get your pit lit. He's not shatzing.
Nope. Walt is very on the fly.
He is.
I mean,
He's
he has
always
some
been on
level
the
of
fly, yeah.
control, but
So the pit is lit again for 50K.
Oh, nice nudge.
okay, taking his time here, slowing it down, firing. Nope, not that time.
Just a titch too early.
Okay, and
Hold it. Go.
Oh,
just a little bit to the
Ooh.
left.
A little late.
Good patience here. Get it stopped. Try again.
He
No.
just a little bit more.
But he gets a bounce off the pop bumper to get his 2X, so that's very helpful. That'll be another 24,000 plus.
Surprised he didn't let that dead bounce there.
He's going to try that backhand again. Yes.
Oh, that's so surprising. I would never, ever. And that's, I mean, that just speaks to, unfortunate drain. Did he catch?
Ball. Great ball.
He
He'll
caught,
move into second
he
place.
Caught Alec there. So great game. All right, I'm just kidding. Great
Yeah.
ball too.
Now-
We'll edit it out.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Now-
We'll cut it out later.
Eric is up, and he has the pit lit already.
We'll do it live.
But I do want to say, even though he's so far ahead, this is not the time to get overconfident.
No.
People can
No.
still catch you. You are not so insanely far ahead that it's not a thing that can happen.
But you can see
Be
he's
safe.
going. He's
Be
going
safe.
back to what works for him.
Yeah,
And that's
Building
safe
up
for
the
him.
bonus. Yep.
And that speaks to Walt as a player. He found something that he was comfortable with, and he was efficient with it. So there's multiple
Man,
ways.
that pit is not being nice to anybody.
He gets
there
the bounce
goes,
off
on
the pop
bounce.
bumper. He missed, and then the pop bumper said, "Here you go, 50,000."
The beating part of
And
Gorgar.
he missed that one,
Oh,
but still 358. That's a pretty good score.
It's a great score.
The other players will have a long climb. They'll need 2 or 3 pits. Good plunge there by
Nice.
Alec to get the 2X.
I just cannot. I can't do it.
Oh, come on.
This is fun to. Oh, and see that's the other thing. Like you run into, if you're late and you hit the bottom of that slingshot,
It's not going to...
you have to react so fast to be able to bail yourself out.
Luckily, Alec is like 16, so his reaction times are a lot faster than any of his older people's.
A little kiss there to get it to the other flipper to keep himself out of trouble. Goodbye.
Oh,
Nope,
nice.
and got a good read on it.
JK, I lied.
Looking over, the other group is playing Supersonic, and I believe Luke
Oh, there's one warning.
has
Oh, Luke has run away with it.
563,000.
I'm sorry, did
Going
you say
into
on
ball
Supersonic?
3. Yes.
Supersonic threw 2 balls.
Where
I'm
is
assuming
Luke
he's
from?
paid for. He's from Minnesota.
Minnesota. I knew it was one of the Nebraskas, but spelled Minnesota.
He was
Yeah.
the winner of the Cleveland Pinball
That's
Open
in
just
North
recently.
Nebraska.
Oh,
We call that the Twin Cities, Nebraska.
I met Luke for the first time at IFPA Nationals a handful of years ago. Really, really nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He's a great guy.
He's a gentleman.
He's put up 2 monster scores on 2 difficult games so far, and they're not even done with Supersonic yet.
yeah,
He's done with
John's up right
Supersonic.
now, and he's trying to come back.
John
He's
is
at
trying to chop that wood,
149,
man.
and
And on Supersonic, it's like you're chopping down 100 trees.
It's a forest.
There's
You're
no
chopping
way.
a forest.
Okay, now Jason's up. He had a house ball on ball 2. So, and a house
and a ball.
Now, there's
Oof.
sometimes that'll happen.
Yep,
That's
he's
where
just
the win on game 1 is very big.
huge, especially in a bank of nothing but classics games. Yeah,
I will
first
tell
one
you,
is huge.
Jason Bokor, I know that it's winter when Jason starts to grow his beard out. I know spring's coming when he shows up at a fight club or a tournament or a league night with a freshly shaven face.
So he's our groundhog or our meteorologist.
Yep.
Our groundhog.
Who needs a meteorologist? I've got Bokor's beard.
Okay, well, Walt try that backhand again. He does.
Nice.
He gets it. That's a big
great.
50,000. He has 7 in bonus.
He's
And
gonna
And he's
His
got
cat
the
is lit
50 lit
again.
again, but
Oh.
no, it's not going to get there.
just shy.
Oh, and he just came short of Alex.
So we're going to have a 4-4-4-2.
Oof.
This is going to be a very exciting third game for this group.
Where do you think
Everybody
they're going to
is
go? What has
still in
Eric
it.
chosen before?
Yeah, let's take a quick look.
We are going to probably, I'm going to say Mars Striker Galaxy. It's going to be Space
Last
Theme.
time it was Jumping Jack.
Or Jumping Jack.
Oof.
Taking a
it.
look at
Now-
the B finals there, and we got an interesting 3-person battle. Kevin with 5, Andy Todd with 4, and Iman with 1. Everybody still has a chance.
We're in progress with everything else. Except for Gorgar. Gorgar's done. Right now, looks
Doug's
like
putting in scores.
Putting in the scores. Looking over at Supersonic, John finished with 234,000. Evan is up right now, and he just drained out. He has 60.
It's just 70, 76, just shy of 76.
Take a moment here while they're finishing up game 2 and do an ad for Pinstadium.
The wait is over. A revolution in LED lighting for your pinball is finally here. Fully customizable, full spectrum lighting from Pinstadium Lights. Order yours now at pinstadium.com.
And we're back.
Okay, so Steve has 11,000. He has a long climb, but being that he got second in the first game, his biggest goal right now is to at least get past Evan and John, because Luke already won the first game.
He did.
So every point he can get here will be big in game 3. He doesn't have to beat Luke. He just needs to stay ahead of Evan and John.
If
You're-
anybody could do it, Bowden. Bowden can do it.
And he'll know all the map.
Now,
You're-
I've probably jinxed him, but I would put money on him any day of the week.
Taking a look here at the room behind us, there's still main qualifying going on the left side. That will be going on until 1 a.m. You can see Luke and John here watching behind us.
Wave, guys, you're on camera.
The far back there was the women's bank. You saw the finals earlier. And Elisa Parks was the winner.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
She put up an insane score.
Wasn't
on
on
Wizard of Oz.
18-12. Oh,
Here's
was it
our
Oz?
results. Elisa first, Aaron second, Leslie third, and Virginia fourth. And Elizabeth made those finals. How was your finals experience?
It was not great. I don't want to talk about it. What I do want to talk about is in qualifying, Elisa put up 449,000 on Wizard of Oz as the number one.
Holy cow.
It was out of. It was.
Okay. Here's our main
It was
standings
insane.
at the moment. Eric Stone, the top seed right now. Fred Richardson, Tony Pierce down near the bottom on the cut line.
It's the bubble. The dreaded bubble.
And with 222, that's probably 3 decent games on a 5-game ticket,
Yeah.
or 4 semi-good ones. It's still within reach, but the Papa format is so difficult.
It is so hard. If I took all of the good games that I had, so let's talk real quick about the Papa format. So you get 5 games on 1 ticket. You play all 5 of those games in any order that you would like. You can't repeat any games on that ticket. And then where you finish on each individual game compared to how everyone else that has played those games on their ticket, you're ranked in order 1 through however many people have played that game. So the first place score is worth 100 points. The next place, second place is worth 95. The next is worth 90, and then 85, and then 79, 78, 77, and so on and so forth.
You can see Eric's first place one here. His best game is dialed in. It's fourth place, worth 84 points. If anybody beats that dialed in score, he'll lose 1 point.
If they elect to submit their ticket.
If they elect to submit it, yes.
The Papa format really rewards consistency. If
Absolutely,
you're a good
100%.
player across the board, like if you're in a best game format,
Yep.
anybody could put up a monster score on a game and get into a finals. This format specifically rewards you for being a good player across the board.
That's why I like this format.
This is why I hate this format.
With Herb, you'll see some people just playing one game over and over again until they get that score. They can try it 10 times until they finally have what they need. We see here Steve did not end up coming back. He ended up taking last. We have an 8-3-2-1. Luke was on to the finals. John, Steve, Evan will be playing their third game.
Going back to the Papa format real quick, though, that's part of the problem is that if you put up the #1 score on Centaur and then you put up the 46th score on Dialed In.
At me next time.
Yeah. Like, it's not even worth necessarily submitting that ticket.
Exactly.
Because it's not a good score. It's
Sure.
not a good, consistent.
If I get a first place score, though, I'm going to submit it because that's 100 points that somebody else is not
Right.
getting.
You can.
There's a lot of thought that goes into when do you submit a ticket.
I
Am
very
hurting
rarely ever
myself?
void.
Well,
I agree.
there are times when it can be advantageous to void, especially if you play 5 tickets and submit them all, and you play the same 5 games in every single ticket,
Right.
you can actually knock your other scores that exist down. It's not your best ticket stays.
Right.
All of your tickets at all times that you've
Always
submitted
count.
are active. They always count. So you can actually hurt yourself on what might have been your previously best ticket.
Right.
And do some damage to yourself. So we're getting into some deeper, muddier waters about like
It
the
can get
intricacies
super
of
confusing
the
and it can
Papa
get
format.
super
Yeah.
hard to follow, which is why it's not really a format necessarily for newcomers and for
Absolutely
novices.
not. No. And like you said, you can blow up your first game, have a really bad second, third, fourth, and fifth game, and your ticket's over,
Yep.
or anything. But there is also, especially, and you start to see this trail off. At the end of the tournaments, at the end of the weekends, this is when we start to see players finding out that they have a little bit of wiggle room for error because now they know where that cut line is going to be. They can start looking at the scores that have already been uploaded to the database and say, like, okay, I only need 45 points out of this game. This is the score I need to get for 60 points. So they can kind of watch as they go, and maybe that helps drive their picks.
Right.
For what games they're going to play. Do I think, the top score, this weekend on Attack from Mars is 11 billion. Sorry, not happening for me. Like, I
Right.
totally got rid of that game for my ticket because I'm not doing it. I can't do it. Not on this one.
And also, this is all, what we're talking about is all qualifying. In finals, you go back to 4 players on 3 games, 4-2-1-0
Yeah.
scoring.
Yep.
And it looks like they chose Blackjack as game 3.
Interesting choice.
So Blackjack is an interesting game that I just learned today. So basically how Blackjack works, you see the player's hand and the dealer's hand there in the middle of the playfield. And so there are different targets on the playfield that will advance the player's hand and different targets that will advance the dealer's hand. So at any time the player's hand is better than the dealer's hand and a player shoots this scoop right here, their bonus multiplier increases, which this game is incredibly bonus heavy. You don't really get a lot of points out of just, shooting targets around the playfield.
Holy crap, I don't think I've ever played this game.
Now-
So go ahead, I'm sorry.
Now, Eric's done. The other big thing in the game is the 4 lanes at the top. If you get all 4, that lights your spinner. And in typical Papa fashion, that spinner is juiced. 1,000 a spin.
Oof.
And it also lights your out lanes for 50,000. So
that's definitely a huge advantage.
So right now it's showing him player's hand at 21, dealer's hand at 17. What does he want to shoot for to maximize his points at this point?
Right
So
there.
his bonus is already maxed out at 5x. That's right under the dealer's hand.
Gotcha.
Right there. So really nothing. I mean, it'll advance his bonus a little bit, but it won't do anything for his bonus multipliers. I would, if it were me, I would hesitate. Like after my bonus is maxed, I would hesitate shooting that saucer intentionally because it feeds it directly to the pops, which might make it a little bit less controllable.
You'd go for the spinner and
I think
up to
so.
the top.
I think so. If I could get a good feel for how to tap pass on this game, I would start going for those upper lanes to try to make progress towards lighting that spinner.
Pete, can you look and see what people were like, what the scores were on this? Like average, you have the computer in front of you, and I don't. Like 210 seems like a great ball one score. Like I'm just kind of curious. Again, having not played this game before.
Yeah, we can take a look here.
I think Todd Williams in one of my final groups tonight, he put up I think 580-some thousand. He had two monster back-to-back balls on this game. Really put on a clinic, and that's how I learned, by watching Todd. So Todd, thanks for teaching me, and Andy gave me some really helpful advice too. Talking about the game earlier because it's something we'd never seen.
So the high score in qualifying was John Replogle with 723,000.
I can see that.
But it looks like, top 10, you had to get above 280, which ball one, Eric is,
Yeah, well, taking
He's
a
in
look
good
here.
shape.
Eric's
70,000
best
points
score
away
in
from
qualifying
it.
was 201.
Wow.
Now, well, he had that
Oh.
monster ticket, so he may not have put much effort into
Alec-
this game. But
Alec needs to dig under that glass and kiss that cupped insert for that gift. My gosh. It was heading straight for the middle and hit that 3,000 insert and went for the flipper. That was awesome. And the other thing I think we might have forgot to touch on, if the dealer's hand is higher than the player's hand and you shoot that saucer, nothing happens. I think you get a handful of points, but your bonus multiplier doesn't advance.
Makes sense.
Maybe not important, maybe obliviating a little bit, but that's just
the
something
3,000 points and the ball into the pops is just not worth it.
Now, Bokor hasn't stepped up before. So he's stepping up for the first time. Is that dealer's hand random? That 18 that it gave the dealer?
I think it is.
I think so, yes.
Is the player's hand random, or do you always start with 21?
I'll have to watch that.
I
honestly
never
don't know the
did.
answer to that.
I never thought to watch. No, so let's remember that Bokor has 21 right now. The dealer has 19.
The dealer's hand on both player 1 and player 2 were 17, which is why I'm asking like if there's a randomization there, or if it.
I wonder if it's
what
by
it's
player.
doing.
I wonder if player 4 it'll be the dealer will have 20.
Right.
I wonder if this is. I mean, I doubt it.
Now,
but-
I also wouldn't be
he's
surprised.
trying. No, you can get a skill shot by plunging the ball through there, and because his hand was winning, he would
He
have
would have advanced his bonus
advanced the
multiplier.
bonus.
Yeah. So here I'm going spinner all day.
Steve Daniels with the answer. Player's hand gets passed around from ball to ball, so whatever the player has, is the next player will get. Dealer is random.
AJ Replogle is chiming in to tell me that it's not random. It's from the previous player.
There's an echo in here tonight.
Thanks, everyone, for
Thank you very
letting
much.
us know that.
Chatland.
I like that we can ask these questions and that you guys help us out because we don't know all of the answers. And
Absolutely. With a number of games that exist in the world, and in the era of code updates,
right.
it's impossible. Unless you're Lewis Bevins, it's impossible to know it all.
Blackjack actually just got a code update last week, so I can't be expected to understand how all of this is working. But I really appreciate you guys that know this. Just chime in and let us know.
Oh, now Jason
Oh.
going.
Bokor.
Yeah, he passed.
For style points, look at this. Look at this guy go.
And it works out.
Yes! That was beautiful.
It's like a little bit
It was
of hesitation.
beautiful.
He's like, "Oh, did I mean to do that?" And oh yeah, I totally meant to do that. Oh, that
Doesn't
was
matter
cool.
how you do it, as long as you get it to
Yep.
work.
If all the pins fall down, it's a strike.
All right,
Nice
good
little live
control
catch
here.
there. So his player's hand is still beating the dealer's hand. So
bit off,
that
but he's
bonus
got another crack
multiplier
at
is super valuable. It'll take him
And there it
from
is.
30,000 up now to 45,000, roughly 48,000. Oh, beautiful slap save! A great dig.
Now,
And there he
great
goes.
dig.
Oh,
but he lost the hands of draw
there's a
there,
tie,
so he
yeah,
gets
so-
dealer always wins ties.
but now he's getting his rollovers up top.
You can see there the 1,000 pop bumper is lit. The pop bumpers are based off of those upper rollovers. So right now the club one isn't lit because he hasn't collected the club.
That was a great nudge there.
Nudge.
So that's probably one of the other really big skills that
Player
I
has
always try
21.
to-
Oh, it did not. Hey,
There
here it comes
goes.
back in, though. 5x. So he will be maxed.
So you 20. So there's now he's up to 29,000. He's totally maxed out. So just short of 150,000. But as I was saying, I think that's one of the other big skills, more so than flipper skills. Another great nudge there
Oof,
to keep himself
great
out of the
bounce.
out lanes. Is learning how to anticipate what the ball is going to do. And you can see, especially Jason is doing a really, really, really great job at getting reads on how the ball's going to react.
Now,
Oof.
he has the special. Let's check this out here. Yes, every time he gets a special, it's 50,000.
Oh my, yeah, I would be going for that all day long.
Bam, another 50,000.
He's just going to live in that saucer.
That's why Eric was going for that with the
Gotcha.
special lit.
He's so patient right now and letting it dead bounce. I could not be this patient. I am nerve-wracked for him.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah, let
Don't
that
even
go.
tilt that. A great
Take
ball
the
from
150.
Jason.
Yeah, they'll put him around 400.
Fantastic.
He's waited his entire life for this moment, and boy, did he shine.
Whew.
Now Walt's up, and I mean, look at this: 400, 210, 162. This is some very high-level play these guys are putting on.
Walt
Hey,
is literally
this-
just waiting for Jason's bonus to end. Like,
So the
it's-
dealer's hand went up to 21, of course.
Push.
So if that's randomized. But what do you do in this situation? I mean, you don't even look at the other scores. You get up and it's you against the machine at this point. Yeah, you're playing other people, but you just got to get up there and play the best game that you've got.
So AJ is actually telling me that you
Oh.
can skill shot for the bonus if you walk up to a winning hand before launching the ball.
Right.
But it's super hard.
Walt with a tough ball there. Now, Walt is in a must-win situation. Otherwise, it'll be the top two between Eric, Jason, and Alexander. This is going to be very exciting.
Oh boy.
Oh!
That
no.
insert. Man. So the door is open. We unlocked that door with the key of imagination.
So let's explain what the problem is with the inserts for people that don't necessarily play these older games.
Sure.
a whole
Yeah. Totally. So it's kind of hard to demonstrate from this top-down perspective. But what happens over time with some of these older games, and when we say cupped inserts, so instead of laying flush with a play field, sometimes you see those inserts that we're talking about. Anything that's white. The heat and wear and tear over. These games are 35, 40 years old now. Gravity does its thing, and they start sinking down into the play field, and they become a little bit concave. So what
Can
ends
leave
up
a little bit of a lip.
a little bit of a divot, yeah. There are ways to combat that or fix those issues, but it's a very, 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 very common thing with a lot of these older games. What that leads to here is, your brain is trained to anticipate what that ball is going to do, and then it rolls over one of those cupped inserts, totally changes directions, and throws you off your game, or it sends it straight down the middle. So, oftentimes those issues are solved with a little bit of clear coding and some patience. But again, it's a really, really common thing on games of this age.
So the extra ball is also worth 50,000. Oh, fumbled that one, but still, that's going to be a 5x. That should be a max bonus as well. He's
That
going to
was a decent. That was a decent ball.
He's going to go over 300.
So now Jason, it's going to be between Walt obviously still has a chance here, but Jason with a commanding lead. He's still got 80,000 on top of second place. Walt with 2 balls to go has a pretty steep mountain to climb too, but Jason showed us it can be done in one ball. One ball does it all at the Pittsburgh Pinball Open.
I think I've said this on the broadcast before. I know a couple people that when they first started getting into pinball competitively and they first brought games into their house, they set the machines to be one-ball games because you need to think of every game as a one-ball game when you're playing competitively. Oh,
great
nice.
slap save.
Some
That's a really
people
good
would
point.
panic in that spot, and he just knew what to
he-
do.
Yep.
He's like, okay, that wasn't what I wanted. Let's save it and move on. Gets a win there. And a good trap up.
So that's another good point. Somebody in the chat room chimed in and said it looked like the Mylar protector near the sling, not the inserts. And that's another good point. That very well may have been. And you can actually see, Mylar is kind of like a protective coating that manufacturers used to put on games, and you can see right in front of the sling shots how they're nice and clean and not dirty at all. That means the Mylar is doing its job, and sometimes that can bubble up too. And wreak havoc on players. So very good point. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for chiming in.
At the end of the day, whether it's an insert or it's the Mylar, it all comes down to the physical nature of pinball.
Absolutely.
You got to account for everything.
No two games will play the same, ever.
All right, so Jason, 488. Walt has a big hole. But as we've seen, 50,000 points for every special.
You can do
He's
it on a
very
ball.
much in this.
Walt needs to be calm and needs to take his time and not.
Nice little flick there.
Yep, that was
He's-
nice.
Right now he has the winning hand. Oh, now we're going to still be winning.
Okay.
Well, those in lanes change the player's hand, so now he's losing.
Yep.
Anytime you go through those top in lanes, the player hand advances by 1.
God, I wish
Oh,
I could
no.
do that at the casino. Here's an in lane, like 18. In lane, 19.
Yeah, hit me.
I was just in Reno last
1 point
weekend,
at a time.
and I was playing blackjack, and I got nothing for any in lanes. In fact, they didn't know what I was talking about at the table, and I said, "Just give me a point for that." They just took my money.
Okay, so here we are. We are at the last ball, game 3. As a reminder, Walt needs to win. If he doesn't win, then the top two between Eric, Jason, and Alexander will move on.
If the game were to end right now, that would be Jason and Alec.
Yep.
Right now it's Florida versus Pittsburgh.
Looking over, the other group's playing Gorgar. John has 254 and is out. Evan, 35 and is out. Steve's at 112. And then
Luke at 20.
And we looked away that quick, and that's going to end it as Eric will not get the three-peat as he drains really quickly.
He's just going to have to console himself with the 2 trophies he won over the last
And a
2
chance for a
nights.
third.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's still money. That's still
Maine
money.
is still tomorrow, so
Absolutely. So Alex stepping up here now, really playing for a little bit of practice.
Well, at this point, you still have to worry about Walt. So
Oh,
he
Walt
needs
can
true,
still
yeah,
come
Walt can
back.
still-
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
everybody needs to
I
play
stand-
like they are not
Nope.
in the lead.
I stand corrected. That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
So let's see, the Walt win scenario. If Walt wins, then it'll be Walt and whoever finishes second between
Eric, well, Jason and Alex.
Jason and Alexander.
Math.
It'll be 6-6-5-4, and I've seen the bad end of that in round 1.
Oh, nice.
Good patience.
So it looks like he was trying to tap pass to get to the spinner, maybe. I don't know why he would preferentially want the ball on the right flipper in that scenario. Oh, well, maybe. Oh, no.
He might
Okay.
not be able to get control. He might just be
Sure.
flipping to keep it alive.
Now, as a reminder, now Jason knows he's through, but he is essentially playing as Alexander's co-pilot here.
Co-pilot,
Every
absolutely.
point that he piles on is points that Walt will need to get.
Jason has to play like he's not in the lead.
I mean, it's a lot easier when you know you're safe,
Right.
though. And he gets the skill shot there. He gets it to ball. And look at this. Right back in, but the player hand had changed.
Yeah, he
Still-
went through
Yeah,
that.
there's nothing he can
Oh,
do.
that's a bad feed.
5:07. All right. Walt knows what he needs. So at this point, it's got to be the
It's got to be the special.
the special
yeah.
road.
Oh, my goodness. That's always like one of the worst things, or at least feelings, is whenever you're trying to get control of the ball and you do that little light flip away.
And then
It's just like
goes
it's over.
way up.
It's done.
just gone.
Gone. See ya. Bye.
So he's got his 1,000-point pop bumper lit.
He only needs 380,000 more of those.
So if he
and-
just hits it a whole bunch.
Uh-oh. Oh, and that's the other thing, like that sling
You got to
didn't
be
fire.
careful with those
yeah.
slings.
So we have Jason Bocor.
Jason
and
will be at 8, Alexander 6, Eric 5, and Walt 2. And our other group has finished up as well.
That was a great game by Jason Bocor.
Absolutely.
And here's
So John
Luke
Rep-
and John move on.
7941 group there. Some very, very strong play.
So John will be our bus driver for the finals. And it's the Blackjack, Supersonic, and Gorgar. Wonder if he will stick with those 3.
I was very close points going into that Gorgar game between John and Steve. Oof.
And we're back behind the desk here at the Pittsburgh Pinball Open 2019. We want to thank all the players for coming out this weekend and taking part in the circuit event.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow,
Stern
the players will be working to earning more points towards the circuit. Some players who are in good position for finals tomorrow and to earn good points: Steve Bowden, Lewis Bevins.
Yeah, what are, can we pull up real quick what our main standings are looking like for going into tomorrow?
Sure. Let's see if James can pull that up for us.
James, our wonderful director, here behind the scenes.
Producer
behind the
James, we
cameras.
love him so much.
Slow clap for James.
And here we are. So right now, Eric, Jason, Zach, Brian.
Look at Brian
Brian
Dye
Dye?
up there.
Come on.
Who did you bribe to get that score?
Nobody.
2 on World Cup, 11 on Johnny, 12 on Centaur. Excellent
Man, you
job.
are sitting pretty.
Thank you.
Nicely done, sir.
Thank you very much.
Nicely done.
We got Nick on the buy spot right now. DJ and Alexander just underneath him. I mean, single points could bleed off, and who knows how this could change. And then down there at the
Absolutely.
bottom,
We've got
Fred
several more
Richardson.
hours to go, so
Yeah, and it's and there's always, and this is one of the things that I really miss about the actual Papa tournaments, is the Papa magic that happens on the last ticket that's going in. Like, one of my favorite memories
oh yeah.
is Jim Bell's. If you get, it's not a Papa unless somebody gets Bellcedo'd.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is not.
Even
a
if
Papa.
Belcedo is not there,
no.
somebody's going to get Belcedo.
Somebody's gonna get
Like,
Belcedo.
yeah, it's a thing.
Are we sure that that's not in the pinball dictionary? Paging Steve Bowden.
If it's not, it needs to be.
It needs
I'm
to be.
pretty
Somebody
sure it
fix
is.
this, please. Tell Forum, somebody help us out there. Get over there, make that recommendation, and fix it.
Are we going to do Blackjack again?
If
or
John
have
is,
they not moved?
If John is driving the bus, Blackjack was in his. It was Blackjack, Supersonic, and can't remember. I think Gorgar was in their last bank
Yes.
of games. So I'm not surprised that we're going to Blackjack.
All right.
This is a very. This is. I feel like John specializes in these specific kinds of classics games. I don't know what it is about John and old Bally's, but he loves them. He crushes them. He's always pretty good at them. So, who? How did the B finals end up? Do we know by chance how B ended
We
up?
can take a look here.
I'd like to check in on my Morgantown buddy if you don't mind. That
Yeah,
would
let's
be-
see how Andy did.
And James is going to pull that up for us. And there we go.
Oh, he took second. That's
Todd
okay.
Williams,
That's
the
okay.
winner. Andy second, Kevin third, and Iman fourth. So Todd was the one that was in the tiebreaker with Alexander to move on to the finals. I guess winning B is a pretty good consolation prize.
You know.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
Hardware.
So, but congratulations to those 4 and to all the finalists that were able to compete tonight.
And then B's finalists, there'll be a B finalist for Maine tomorrow as well.
Yep, we take 16 in B instead of 24 in A. There's Doug Polka.
He's crediting
trying
us
to
up.
Credit up for 4 players there.
Thank you to Brian Tessier for moderating our chats tonight.
Woohoo! Thanks, B-Test.
He's also been here working hard at the tournament during the afternoons.
Oh, who is that guy? Is that the guy from Whitewater? Is that Bigfoot?
Did I see that guy in a river once?
With a fishtails pinball
With a
machine.
fishtails
it's,
pinball machine.
It's so funny because like occasionally like I'll see random people sharing that image. That,
It
like,
comes
that,
out of nowhere.
That like are not involved in pinball whatsoever, and I'm like, I could say something about this, but it would be even more weird that I would know what's going on.
Okay, so our final four here. John, he got second in Classics 1. Alexander got third in Classics 1. Luke, he was the winner of the Cleveland Pinball Open. And Jason. I'm sure Jason's on something, but
Jason's
nothing's coming to
beard
mind.
speaks for itself. That's all you need to know.
John's
All right,
got
so
a pretty
here's
good
John.
beard, too.
Nice
Oh,
nudge.
not a nice nudge.
So what John should have done there, see, he
Was
zigged
bounce it
instead of
better.
zagged.
Yeah.
He should have zagged.
He should have zagged.
He should have zagged. Yes.
He should have zagged. He zigged. Not great. All right. Player 2 is going to step up with dealer at 18.
And that's
Player at 21. It's Alexander,
Alexander.
which I was just going to say, like, it's got to stink to play the same game twice in a row, but Alexander is literally the person that would pick Shack Attack every single game if you let him.
or Independence Day.
That's the nice thing about
or-
being the 24 seed. Unless someone does something really different, you always know you're going second every game.
Yeah. Now,
I prefer second.
This might not be a bad thing for him
Nice on the
because
fly.
the shots are fresh in his mind.
Right.
There's something to be said for having to go from a game like this to a game like Spanish Eyes to a game like Supersonic or a game like Galaxy, that's got the Stern style flippers,
Yeah, I agree with
style
you.
flippers.
You're right.
That can really, really throw you off. So this might actually work to Alex's advantage.
Yeah, if I was in John's shoes, I wouldn't have started with Blackjack knowing that those two had just played it. I'd save it
Yeah.
for game 2.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Let them get a different flipper feel before coming right back to it.
However, maybe John was just taking pity on our poor production crew and was like, I don't want to make him move the camera. Just let it sit. We'll play Blackjack. It'll be fine.
Have pity on our technicians.
Little did he know.
So what Jason's doing right here is he's trying to get a feel for where that tap pass is going to be. And that's definitely something you want to be doing while the ball's in the shooter lane or not in play. Like you don't, and to be fair, that point where it's happening successfully. Oh, my Lanta.
Oh, yeah, here's my Atlantic City living. Dealer has 21 when I have 21. I think I still win that, but
It's a push.
not in pinball.
But those tap passes can be really beneficial. And basically what that is, a tap pass is where you're able to just very, very lightly press on the flipper button. And it almost looks like you're doing like a nice little alley-oop to the other flipper. It's just another flipper skill, looks like a pass. And depending on what you're shooting at or what your strategy is, that can be a very, very disgusting
Good
save
nudge.
from Jason Boker.
Wow.
Did you see that?
No, I turned my
Sports
head. I
Center.
missed it. I wish
It'll
I
be
could
on
go back
Sports
in
Center
time.
later tonight.
Sports
Plays
Center
of the day.
10. My goodness. That was the Wade Boggs of pinball.
Wow.
That's what we need Steve to start working on. The Fun with Bonus top 10 plays of the week.
Oh, that would be good. It would be fun.
Or you're talking about doing some streaming or or no, it was Chris that wanted to do the podcast.
I don't
Yeah,
think you're
yeah.
doing enough yet, Dr. Dye, so I think you should start doing the top 10 plays from around the world of pinball.
Yeah. Okay. I'll put that on the docket of things that I'll probably never get to.
Talk to baby Dr. Dye.
Yeah, she's with Grandma and Grandpa this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you,
to-
Grandma and Grandpa.
To them for taking care of her. And
Oh!
What a dig! Another one.
He just pulled an Elizabeth, which is what I do like all the time. Like, how did I mess that up?
Just
Why would I?
can
Oh
you-
my God, save it!
It's
Wow!
wonderful. And then he gets the winning hand. Look at that.
Holy crap!
Just give the man all the medals.
And then he
This
gets
is
a.
just
It's like you're doing so well here. Let me just give you an end lane. You don't have to work
This
for
is-
that.
Oh.
Messed that one up, but still, great ball. 3x bonus maxed.
But yeah, shout out to everybody in Morgantown if you're watching.
Oof.
But
Yowie
yeah,
zowie.
That was really exciting to watch. I mean, 92,000 might not be much to show, but
that was beautiful.
The alternative, I mean, how many points did he get? You know, it's like how many yards after a missed tackle.
He saved that so many times.
Yeah, I mean, how many points did he gain from making those crazy saves? So really strong play
Luke
by.
was out of control from the beginning. Tough pap out of the pop bumpers. He made the one flip to try to get it back under control, but the return, just nothing he could do.
Absolutely. Yeah, Luke's on a good streak here. You know, in these last couple events, always a strong player. Was watching him.
He will definitely be a contender tomorrow too.
Absolutely. So here we have John Replogle, also a newly minted father. Maybe not so newly minted, but still newly minted in my book.
Newerly minted than
Newerly
yours.
minted than my baby.
I've got more news from AJ Replogle here. She says that she and John learned how to play blackjack when they were in Sweden for the IFPA Nationals last year, and that they spent a lot of time trying to figure out why one person jumped in bonus when another didn't, and so he became very familiar with the game, and that's why he felt confident picking it, even though Bokor just gave a tutorial on how to play it last game.
Sure.
Now, he's had no luck with the two balls,
No.
both out of the left out lane very quickly. Chris Ward with an interesting, calling it PATS, points after the save.
Points. Oh.
I like it.
We gotta get that into the dictionary now too. Oh, almost had the skill shot there, and that would have counted. The player's hand is 20, dealer's hand is only 18.
And skill shot is worth how much?
Well, it would advance your bonus multiplier.
It
It
would
would
been
go
the
into the
bonus.
saucer.
There was no saving that.
He put himself in that situation, though, trying to get control and not doing it well in that one. So hard to be perfectly accurate every time.
This is one of those things that just happens with pinball, actually kind of quite often, where you see a game that is just a masterclass in how to play that game, and then you play the same game in a short period of time, and just nothing. It's all bupkis. We saw that at Clepin with Bill Mason, who just gave a tutorial on how to play Metallica, and then the next time we played Metallica, not so much. These are players that know how to play this game. We just watched a great game of blackjack, and now look at the scores. Like, it's nowhere near.
Well, that's the same thing with the Papa format. You can, on one ticket, go over and blow up World Cup soccer, and then the next game, not do anything.
Yeah.
Adam's Family, I thought, was very playable this weekend. I toured the mansion a couple times today on my best ticket.
Humble brag.
Well, no, because those tickets weren't anything. They weren't worth anything, even though I had strong games. My Adams Family on my submitted ticket was only 3 million points.
Wow.
Three houseies.
Wow.
So dreams do come true. So.
You two can end up fourth even with a crappy game of Adam's Family.
Yeah, there's no bleeding with that one.
Oh, no, there's still a whole lot of blood over there.
All right, so he's got the extra.
Oh,
dug it out nicely.
Ow.
See, there's that Mylar again coming back to haunt Bokor. It's a great save and a great reaction.
Yes.
He recognized what was going on and was able to save himself there.
And that's good. 50,000.
There's the extra ball, and now he's onto the special 50,000s, where now it's just like, now this is where you want to tap pass. Don't do it on
Or do that.
or just
Or,
off the sling.
Just
I'm
don't
sure he
listen to
called
Dr.
that
Die
shot.
and just, let Bokor do his... Let Bokor be
Yeah.
Bokor.
How come you didn't illustrate that one?
Get the John Madden voice in. So what
Yeah.
you want to do here? Shoot this. And then back it up into here.
Oh!
Not that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Great ball by Jason.
Another
That was
great
a
ball.
brutal hit off of that pop bumper. That was a fantastic ball, though.
3.
Wow.
36.
Luke has a really cool band T-shirt on today.
I hear they're touring again.
Yeah, it's. I think they're.
There's the skill
they're out
shot.
there. So that's exactly it. So he's found that plunge, which would have been really, really valuable information to have. 2 balls ago.
Once again, information I could have used yesterday.
Well, I mean, on some games, that kind of information can be really, really, really valuable. On games like Fireball, Pinbot, you name it.
Nice.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's what pinball fans live for right there.
Wow.
That's not what they live for.
That's what they die for. So, a rough game for...
Fantastic ball, though.
So we got Jason with a huge score, and the other 3, not much, but like we've seen, 50,000 for extra balls and the specials. They're all still in it. John's talking to himself, devising a plan here.
Is there anybody who steps up to a pinball machine who does not talk to themselves?
Me. I usually do it after I drain.
We've heard a lot of that this weekend, people talking to
Oh,
themselves.
yeah.
And
Well, the way these games have been set up this weekend, that's no surprise to me. And that's a fine balance of running a circuit event or any high-level event. The games can't be so easy that people are just going to be taking forever and ever and ever and
Right.
putting up huge scores. But they also can't be so hard that people feel like they're not getting good value for.
Oh,
their
beautiful
machines.
nudge. Oh, no, he
but
tilted
you
it
tilted,
there.
so not a beautiful nudge.
So John will take a 0 on the first game here.
But you're absolutely right, Brian. You don't want it to be so easy that it plays forever.
Right.
And you don't want it to be so difficult that people don't feel like they got their money's worth on playing
Or
the
like
game.
a positive
I was
experience.
talking to Doug about it, and he's like, yeah, I wanted to make it challenging but playable.
Yes.
Right. And
That's
you know,
And
always
it's
the
like,
goal.
can you do that? And he's like, yeah.
I mean, I think so. I mean, if you look at some of the scores that have been put up this weekend, particularly Johnny Mnemonic, Alec had a 101 billion point game
What?
on Johnny Mnemonic. I almost didn't come up because I was like, if this is how this is going to go this weekend, like I have no business.
What was the number 2 score?
I think the
Around
next
the
closest
40s
one
or-
is 40.
Right.
You
so
know,
that's the difference between like a runaway score.
right.
I mentioned earlier that Elisa Parks had a monster Wizard of Oz score. She put up 449,000. I had the number 2 score with 85. Sometimes you just get a monster runaway.
Yeah, you get one of those outliers, statistical outliers. Who, somebody, I think it's Corey Hulse who does the data is beautiful thing.
Yes.
He'll always compile all the numbers. Thank you, Corey Hulse, because
Yes,
that
Corey.
stuff is so awesome and so cool to look at. But yeah, no, that definitely happens. Oh, did it give him credit even though it didn't stay in the
It
saucer?
did not.
And an unfortunate tilt there. I mean, oh no, he didn't
He
tilt.
didn't
didn't
tilt.
tilt.
He's getting the bonus. He's going to...
He thought about it. He thought about it and looked up and thought better of it.
Okay, so Jason's guaranteed 2. And a chance to make it much harder on Luke. Wonder what's going through his head right there.
But again, like we said last game, Jason, ball 3 has to step up to this as though he is not in the lead. He needs to play this like he is in last place, because if you become complacent, player 4 can come and take him.
Yep. Do not take your foot off the gas.
Nice.
That's a great start. He's got the 2X. And
Ugh.
these are scary moments.
Oh, beautiful live catch.
Stop. Now.
Take your time, plan it out, hit that spinner.
I wish I had that skill.
Now the other thing, I noticed a lot of the flipper rubbers on the machines this weekend were not the traditional bouncy pink rubbers. Are these different? Like what? are
Yeah, these look like Scaletta rubbers.
Yeah,
They might be Supermans. Some machines
Oh,
have
yeah,
Supermans,
Supermans,
some
yeah.
have regular rubbers, some are,
Ooh.
red, some are black. Rubbers come in all shapes and sizes, and you should just, sometimes the older ones will absolutely grip differently than if you put brand new ones on it. I don't know what specific game you're talking about, having played that it maybe played a little bit differently, but I've also had that experience this weekend where you play one game and right next with older flipper rubbers, and the one right next to it will have like brand new flipper rubbers, and it's like night and day.
And he's definitely not taking his foot off his gas. Got the 3X, got 22 already. And he's still trying to chance it. Get it over to win again.
There it is.
Just like that.
Look at the concentration on that face.
And it's much easier to shats on these style games. If you look at how the in lanes are actually made, like these have a more curved corner, where your games like Gorgar, I mean, they're a little bit more curved, but they're a more kind of angular instead of curved.
Never
if
noticed.
that makes any sense.
Yeah, and sometimes
believe
things
you.
just go good. Look at that. He gets the extra ball for 50, then the ball bounces back in for the special in 50.
So I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna go hit
What
that thing.
Oh, so this is
Oh, I
interesting.
thought he was gonna go back up for the saucer.
Plot twist. No, he's going for the diamond.
Plot twist. He went for the spinner.
And he got it. He got it.
Wow.
So now.
So we've finished our tutorial on Blackjack.
Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We will see
I
you
mean-
next. Oh.
Oh! Did he even move the machine? Did he just do that on his own?
Great patience. Great, geez, Whiz. This is a clinic. An absolute clinic. I'm gonna. Jason's the doctor now.
Yeah.
Now he's got his spinner lit for 1,000 each. There was another quick 25,000. Nice juicy spinners and
Almost got beat up by the Mylar again.
and it
Oh my
stays
god.
in.
Oh my god.
Another one.
How?
And no, dealer's winning this time, but
Jesus.
Oh my gosh. You love to see it. You love to see the
This
fortuitous
is
bounces
fantastic.
for somebody. Oh my. Just unbelievable. Bang.
there it is.
Oh,
Another
50,000.
50.
Check, please.
All right, drinks are on Jason tonight after the end of this.
Oh, now he gets
Yeah,
control.
He's got control. Another
For
another
50,000. No whammies. Big money.
does not stick.
JK.
Proving that everything doesn't go always right for
Another
the players, but he's got control and
Beautiful
another
live
crack at
catch.
it.
He's got the timing of that
And
down.
it's done. 50. I mean, what is there else to say about this?
Yeah, I mean, just
And he gets the 50 for the out lane. This will be 800,000.
Holy. Wow.
I was expecting one of the Dracula calls that 30 million.
I
Getting to
feel
that
like the
point.
chicken dance from 1812 should play right now. That was.
Yeah, so
847.
Mr.
Remarkable
Snailman
score.
in the stream there said he encapsulated. He said like a boss, like a boss.
Well, Luke knows what he needs to do. Let's see. Jason has 847. I have 47.
Yeah. I just gotta hit this a whole bunch.
Well, let's first get past Alexander and then.
Yeah,
Right.
right now at this point, and I mean, if you're in Luke's position, like earlier you say, you're playing the game, not the other opponents, but you do have to kind of start thinking about where your standing is going to be at the end of this game.
Right. He's really close to passing Alec.
I mean, I can't.
Barring a tilt, he will have it.
Yeah,
Right.
And it's a nice dead bounce there. At some point, would you think, you know what, I'm playing for second in this particular game? Probably. First is always nice, but sometimes the more realistic goal to set is second place.
Yeah,
And also-
worry about first after you get to second.
This is game one. You
Yeah.
got 2 more games. You can totally be like, I'll take second.
Yeah. You can't win the tournament in the first game, but you can really put yourself in a hole.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
Wow.
great patience.
Okay, so Luke's now in the 50,000 point range.
50K
Started to count him
club.
off.
I think Luke watched the
Oh,
tutorial Jason Bocor just
the-
gave, and now he's gonna I'm gonna Bocor as much of this machine as I
Man,
Oh,
look at
get out of
this.
town. Is
Look
this
at
going to
that.
start happening?
Look at this.
Oh,
Oh my.
see, he shot that on the fly there, which
What?
was a little dangerous, but
Okay, that one's a tie,
All
so
right,
he
all
doesn't
right.
get the 50 there, but
Bounce, bounce.
power in lane from the dealer.
That was so fast.
So
it was so fast.
Does he go for the shots or the tap pass? Beautifully executed tap pass by Luke.
Oh, and right back up to that saucer.
Now, that was an interesting decision because he had a tie there, so he wasn't getting anything from that.
No, but at some point it becomes methodical. I need to do this and this
Good
and hit
point.
the saucer and this and this and hit the
You
saucer.
get on autopilot.
Yep.
Tap
He's
pass.
going for it again.
Nice. What?
Yeah.
Rolled right up there.
So he might also be banking on.
Oh.
Finally gets the feet out of the pops. It's no good, but still, he's going to be finished at 400.
A great finish. You know, that's kind of hard to swallow. You know, you crack 400,000 on blackjack and you take second.
What was his start on this?
He was at
47.
47, yeah. And he's going to end it.
Oh, I'm just going to make up 500,000 points on this ball.
So yeah, no,
Wonderful
great,
ball.
Wow.
great job.
Wonderful game.
Wow.
So John is in a hole, but he'll have the choice for game 2. Jason with 4, Luke 2, Alexander with 1, and John 0. Before we move on to our second game, and while they're getting set up, a moment to take a advertiser break and talk about Pindigo.
Pindigo is a premier social score tracking app for pinball players. Save your scores, follow your friends, compare and compete. It's available for your iOS or your Android device. Check it out online at pindigo.app. A-P-P.
Now, Pindigo, you can take a picture of your score to have it count versus everybody else in their world rankings. I wonder if Jason's video of 847,000 is eligible for Pindigo.
I'd count it.
I'd go back and take a screenshot of the video feed and put that as my picture.
Played on original hardware, it's a complete legit score.
I like it.
Absolutely.
It's a good way to do it.
They don't take scores that aren't submitted with photos. In the rankings, in the leaderboards, they don't take
Right.
them, so.
It looks like next we're going up to Supersonic, which I'm super happy about. I love Supersonic. I'm
This is
really
gonna
glad
be
that we're going to get to see a different
This is a
game.
very fun game.
Oh, it's so brutal.
Supersonic was one of the first pinball machines I owned.
Really?
I think the first time I played it was at your house.
I think you are right. Yeah, it was one of the first games I bought broken and started learning how to fix games. And Supersonic, it's definitely a different valley, but it'll always have a special place in my heart for sure. The nice little like ending tone. Doo, 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 doo.
Yes,
Something
again,
nice
love
and
all
peaceful.
of the sounds
Yeah.
from this like era, whether it's the Bally's or the Gottliebs. I have a special place in my heart for the Gottliebs. But yeah,
Pretty cool
Supersonic's a
backglass on
great
this
game.
one, too.
Yep.
The rocket ship breaking the speed of sound, I guess.
Flying past the Statue of Liberty.
Doug Polka crediting it up the games and starting it up, and John will be stepping up.
Oof, come on, John, you can do this. Hi, John. You can see behind him Jake Kolajacek, who's helping us out with the production, and you can see our producer James there, having a rocking good time. All right, so what are the goals here? Walk us through it. We haven't seen this.
So the big points come from the bonus multiplier is here. If the ball happens to fall into that saucer or you're fancy enough to shoot it in there, that advances your bonus multiplier. That does not carry over from ball to ball. The other important shot is on the plunge. If you go through this middle gate, or this middle lane right here, it opens your out lane gate here. So that way, if you drain down the out lane, it'll feed it back to the plunger. Plus, I believe the 2 lane also lights the spinner on the right-hand side, which is here, for big points as well. So that's pretty much everything else is kind of
There's some decent points for finishing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you're just gonna
Yep.
you're not aiming for that.
Yeah, you're not going for those intentionally. That's all kind of consequential to slings and maybe missed shots, but definitely not something you're going for intentionally. Now that little waterfall shot that the ball just came through there, you see the star rollover is a great save there. A nice nudge to keep him out of trouble.
I love it when John does this, when he can finally get control of something and he traps it up and he's just like,
Just takes a breath. You can see his face getting more and more red as the ball goes on because he forgets to breathe.
Yes. Sometimes I'm afraid he's going to just collapse. But yeah, the little waterfall feature.
So you can see that in the middle of the play field, all the star rollovers are lit and numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So as he collects those, they'll also light in that waterfall feature. We can call it a feature, I guess. And those are worth, I believe, 1,000 per star rollover.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I think he was trying to Shats there, maybe?
Yep.
It's not a bad ball one.
No, not at all. Not on this particular Supersonic.
Pretty full bonus and 2x.
All right, Alec is up.
Gets a fortuitous bounce into the
Thank you.
bonus multiplier.
Oh,
it's a
too
very,
hard.
very tight
It's
tilt.
like a proto Pac-Man sound, like pop,
Yeah.
pop, 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 pop.
Okay, so
right.
Jason's going to take his time here. Let that tilt bob settle because it is a tight one.
It is a tight one. It is pretty easy to tilt this game. He's gonna flip. He's gonna get his feelings for how these flippers are working. And Jason Bocor has a skill that I have seen very few people with, which is the ability to just like so lightly tap the flipper button. Just he doesn't do a full flip on most of his flips. If you pay attention, it's not a real hard flip. It's just a flutter. He's getting his feel for it before he plunges, and here we go.
All right. So
He gets the 1. And that's tough.
yeah, that's nothing you can do about that. Don't miss. That's the secret to Supersonic. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. It's just one of those.
So
one of
Luke
those
taking
games.
his time here, trying to find the skill shot.
So do you have to do 1, 2, 3,
Perfect.
4, and 5 in order?
No,
No.
they don't have
Okay.
to be done in order, and I do want to correct myself. To light the spinner is now lit, so I'm
He
wondering.
got the 2, yeah.
So it's it is
Oh!
the 2. It is the 2 that lights the spinner. Looked may have been a little delayed there. I thought he went through it initially and it didn't give it to him. I was going to start correcting myself. Oh, that was like a
Nice.
tap pass drop catch
Wow!
hybrid move.
Right into the 5, which was lit, and all he needs to do is get back up there and hit the 1. Oh, hi. I heard you, Elizabeth. I'm going to do exactly that.
And there's quick, sound like 50,000 points.
Yep.
Wow.
And you'll notice that there is a 3, 4, and 5 over here, and there's a 1, I believe, in the middle there.
It's in the center target of doom that you should never shoot for any reason.
But you have to get to
ever.
2 from the top. But he has his gate open on the right out lane, so.
I'd like to thank Mark Salas for that spinner shot. For those unfamiliar, Mark has patented spinner fluid.
There's another 50.
Very good.
What just happened? What did he? What did
He
he?
finished
completed
1, 2, 3, 4, and
again.
5.
Again.
Again,
So
a second time.
how much of it? What does that give him?
I believe another 50,000, and he juggles a little bit. Another
Nice tap
beautiful
pass
tap
and
pass.
a
He's
spinner
really
crank.
feeling that spinner.
Wow.
Really feeling that spinner. You know you found your shot. You know you found your rhythm when you make your shot and you take a step back and you look at your artwork and you just know how beautiful it is.
Yes.
That's such a good place to be mentally.
Oh,
on
look
the
at
fly.
a fly
Oh my
tap
gosh.
pass. No,
he's
you
getting
got a little
out of
squirrely, buddy.
control.
Oh, look at me. No
Oh.
big deal. I just, it's kind of a thing.
Nice. Oh, I think it was just trying to cradle up there.
Yeah. He's trying to get control. He's got control.
So he's got 20,000. I think his bonus is maxed out here.
Yes, it is. Well, he needs
So
the 5X,
that
but
5X
that's
is
the only
a-
thing. Oh, it hits an insert.
Oh.
And curves back into the middle, but still great ball by
Wow.
Luke.
Really, really, really crazy flipper skills there demonstrated by Luke Nahorniak out of Minnesota.
And we can just sit there and listen to the bonus count. 313.
That was
Great.
insane.
All right, John stepping back up, 62,000.
John's not feeling so bad about that 62,000 now when he's looking at players 2 and 3. It's
Taking
kind of
his
funny,
time.
like it's all quiet over here, like we're super dialed into this, and then I just hear from the main bank, "Ride the whirlpool."
Well, it's John speaking
Yeah.
vicariously through Roland
Yep. Yeah.
as Bigfoot.
Now this is a big plunge here because the 2 will light his spinner, get him 50,000, light his outlane gate. And he didn't get it yet.
Does he get it? Oh,
Nope.
From that pop bumper, no.
Nope.
Oh, this is scary. Nice nudge. Bring it to the in lane. And
No.
that one sneaks out. John looks defeated there, but
Oh, John.
now Alexander did not have much of a first ball, 3,900. But as we've seen,
So he's
Ooh,
short.
What's with the short
Plunges.
plunge here?
I got nothing.
Well, let's learn something from the
Interesting.
kid. So he is going for those targets. Now, the targets on the left-hand side, the first time you complete all 5, you get 3,000 points. But the risk reward for that, I don't think there's a big payoff there unless
No, because it's
Getting
extra
the
ball and
extra
special, I don't
balls,
believe are worth anything. So.
not on this game. No, not like on Blackjack.
Ow.
So not quite sure.
Yeah, I think he was being too careful when he ended up plunging it short, going for the 2. Underestimated the plunge, maybe.
Okay, I have a legit question.
7.
It's hard to see from this top-down view, but you have these 2 arrows that are like right here. Are this target? Is it a center target? Are there
It's a
different
s-
sides you get to hit?
No,
What's going
it's
on?
one single circular target.
Okay.
It's a spot target.
It'll give you the 1 if you hit it, and it'll also score 3,000 points when lit. But
Okay.
really, you should never hit it.
Yeah,
No,
there-
it's a super dangerous shot. This is
There
what
you
I
go.
call an incidental shot. This is things that I hit on the way to hitting the thing I was intending to hit.
James putting a target on it, or a zoom on it. Thank you, James. Nice in lane there for Jason.
And again, the
Good
Jets.
patience. Oh.
I don't think that touched a single piece of anything on the way out. That was nothing but net. Kobe.
Key Walworth, the nearest Supersonic to me is at an Urban Outfitters store down the street. That's an interesting Urban Outfitters store.
Yeah, I'm sure the queue on that game was always pretty short.
Ooh. Almost
Almost
had the
got
2,
it.
and then it just bounced over into the 4. Now, Luke here has a chance to do like Jason did. Build up a huge score and make it almost impossible for your opponents to come back.
He has the advantage of being in 4th place, so he doesn't have to play ball 3 like he's not in the lead.
Yeah,
Which
if that
everybody
situation does come
Right.
up, yeah, he can
Literally,
do
he will plunge off.
the
Yeah,
on
almost,
the
that sort of almost got
fly.
him again, though, but he
Yeah.
was ready that time and put a little flipper to it.
This is some expert nudging.
A nice drop catch there.
Now, he has all those star rollovers lit. Every one time it's going over it is adding to his bonus.
That nudge was brave.
And if he can hit that, and he tilts too.
tilted his bonus.
Oh,
It was only about, he didn't have any multipliers going. He only lost about 7,000 points. In the big scheme of things, I'm not sure that's going to make a huge difference. Now watch, everybody comes and catches him by 8,000.
right.
I don't think in the grand scheme that'll matter too much. Now, if he was max bonus 5x, sure. But
Still, you never like to see a ball in like that. Especially on these older games, especially when bonus can be so key.
Right.
Okay, this is a big third ball. John is taking his time, letting the tilt bob settle.
John
Get
is
into a John frame of mind.
who's walking up to Supersonic going, why did I choose Supersonic? Why?
I could have picked Old Chicago.
I could have picked Mars Track.
I could have picked Strataflight.
I
would
could
rather
have
have
picked
picked-
2001 or Jumpin' Jack. I could have picked Jumpin' Jack.
Good. I would have picked Spanish Eyes, even though it's off.
I would have picked it because it's off.
Yeah.
I could have tried to pick Whitewater just to throw them all off.
I could have been a contender instead of a bum.
No, I'd pick Galaxy.
I'd
I think
pick
I'd
Galaxy in a
It's
heartbeat.
a
I
great
love that
game. Beautiful
I
artwork,
love
beautiful
it.
sounds. The Stern, we keep talking about this, but the Stern sounds beat all the other sounds. Quicksilver, Galaxy, all day long.
Oh, come on,
As
go
it-
to your 2. Oh.
As it rumbles thunder. That was funny.
And, oh, good nudge.
Oh, my goodness. Wah, wah.
Now, that was an interesting soft flip there, going over that 5 and that 3 rollover. Added 2,000 to his bonus, and now he has it on the left flipper. Just missed the spinner. Not that
There he
time.
goes. There he goes. Go to your 2.
Nope.
Nope.
Pop bumper love? No.
How was that
But
not,
also not a clean shot up to the spinner, which is what he wanted.
And back under control.
how was that not like a mid-70s, early 80s song? Pop Bumper Love. 11 p.m. Thoughts by Brian Dye. Thanks for coming.
That's going to be the next Snoop Dogg rap.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
There. Come on, go.
Or more like the
Oh,
Bare Naked Ladies song.
I'm going to make these noises my alarm clock tonight.
can
This
you?
is fantastic.
See, then I'd hate this game. I hate these sounds.
That's why I would get up in the morning.
All right. His third crack at the 2, and
He is
still
never
no
going to get
luck.
that 2. That 2.
It's elusive. Think about how those lanes are configured
Yeah.
geometrically. I mean, it's like a peak. It starts off at the top and tapers off. So it's a tough shot to.
Nice.
Oh my
Nice.
goodness! I don't know what it is with all these people and they're on the fly shats and garbage.
And
Right.
it heads out, and John frustrated.
Hey, let's take a moment, though. That was a great ball.
It was a great ball. No, it was
Great
a really,
ball.
really good ball.
And it solidly put him in second place right now because, let's be honest, Alec and
Jason.
Bocor don't have fantastic scores. Luke has run away with it on player 4, so anybody could take second, third, or fourth at this point.
Okay, so Alexander is in the same spot that John was in now. Got all but the 2. And this is scary.
Oof.
Good
Yeah, a
control.
lot going on.
And nice in lane.
He's got to be careful. This tilt is really
Yeah, it-
tight.
Yeah,
he is.
and he's playing,
with fire.
And out he
then-
goes.
So right now, if the game were to end, if Jason doesn't catch Luke, we are going to have a situation where Luke
Be
will have
6-4-2-2.
6-4-2-2. Peed quick off the gun with some math tonight.
Yeah.
I only count by fives, so
Math is hard.
math is really hard.
But the biggest,
go shopping.
Jason needs to get the 1 point here.
Yeah, Jason needs the 1 point and
Okay.
insert action there.
All right.
Oh, that's
go back up
very
here.
helpful.
4. Yep.
Oh goodness.
Get control. Get control.
Okay.
So
Be calm. Shoot your spinner. Send it back up top. You're welcome. I told you to do that.
Now.
Bounce.
That's
There.
beautiful
Oh,
nudge.
yes!
That's 50,000. That'll move him into third.
oh, I don't know if he
Oh.
meant to shoot that, but really, really fortunate that that was an in lane. Well, he has his gate open as well from coming through the 2, so that wouldn't have been as disastrous as I
Yep.
originally
Spinner
thought.
lit. Taking his
get it.
time. There
nice,
he goes.
Nice.
So what did
There
he start? What did he
goes.
start that with? I think he was at what, 40,000? Was that a 20,000 spinner shot change?
Okay, he has
So he's got
15 in bonus. That gets him to
Calm.
95.
What if he goes up that waterfall? What's it gonna get him?
That'll add
There are
4
five.
more, or 3 to 4. 3. It
Five.
looks like 3 or 4 because many buttons that are lit. Some more spinner.
I think the 2 and 5 are lit. I think they're just very dimly lit.
Oh.
Sick.
Wow.
All right, so here we go. Peter, I'm going to spin again.
Now, every time it's going over those, he has his gate open too, so there's
Yeah,
no
that's
reason to
not
panic when it's on that right out lane side.
Oh.
This is one of those times where there he is.
20 in bonus,
Okay, so he's pretty solidly moved into second.
as long as he doesn't tilt.
Right.
No bonus multipliers yet, and I don't know. That's not really a shot that you would intentionally shoot for either. I mean, you can. It's just very tight. It's something you kind of
Yeah, it's
Oh.
going out, but he'll take the second. And so we have Luke 6, Jason 6, John 1, Alexander 1.
6.
Wow.
Jason and
1,
Luke,
1.
one game to decide the winner of Classics 3 at the Pittsburgh Pinball Open.
Fit all the blarbles. You get the walk-off plunge. Haven't seen too many of those.
Is
And
he going to go the
they
2?
get the-
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
That's how
I'm
you
gonna
walk
walk
off
off on the
plunge.
2. Wow.
Look at that swagger.
That ball
knew it too.
swaggered right out of here.
And in the itch, now John is the bus driver here. He's going to decide the game that Jason and Luke will be battling on.
Oh.
Will he go with whatever his initial strategy was, or will he throw us a curveball and pick something?
Okay, so
blunt
but
and
even
odd?
if John or Alexander were to win the next game, they get a 4th. They can't.
Right, they can only
They-
get to
they-
5,
they
so
can't-
they're essentially playing each other for third place.
They can't win, but it is important to remember that final placement can matter here. You know, he still wants to pick
Absolutely.
a game that he's comfortable with.
And you
because
never
Yeah,
want
there's
to
a-
play
there's-
badly.
no,
There's a
absolutely
change
not.
of money and a change of points. PinballMIX.
PinballMIX, have you ever thought, what would it be like to have the best music possible in one of my pinball machines?
I have thought about that very often, actually.
Mark from PinballMIX will upgrade your machine with smooth cuts, tight loops, and balanced levels. He does this with music that you get to choose.
Tell me more.
There are plenty of mods that enhance what you see. PinballMIX can enhance what you hear. Here's what others are saying. Ben from Midland, Texas, says he does a professional job and loops things to perfection. Kevin from Buffalo Pinball says, love the mix that PinballMIX did for me. It's a great way to breathe new life into your favorite games. Paul from Pinside says, I found this is the best bang for buck mod I could personally add to a game I love. Go to pinballmix.com to see videos of Mark's work, or just email Mark directly at pinballmix@gmail.com for more information. What machine would you like to upgrade?
Probably my Star Trek.
What
Star
music
Trek
would you put in it?
What music would I put in it? That's a really good question. What goes good with Star Trek?
Yeah.
I have to think on that. I'd really have to
Yeah.
think on that because it's not like if you threw like Queen in there, probably wouldn't feel like the same Star Trek. You know what I mean?
Hands down, I'm
doesn't
going to
have
take
to-
1812 and I'm going to put Bowie music in it.
That's
Done.
that would be good. That would be good. That would be good.
Done.
Duran
you
Duran and
Elton John, Rocket Man for Star Trek.
Yeah. You could do
You
could do a whole space mix.
you could. No, I'm a little more into like the heavy metal stuff, so I'd like the Fred Cochran music. Hey Fred, are you out there anywhere? So I don't know. Yeah, it would be interesting. But no, I got to check out the PinballMIX stuff up at Replay Effects, which is the greatest arcade in the universe. I don't know if you've heard about that or not.
Have you heard?
Have you heard? Listen, it's not a broadcast. If I don't throw that in somewhere, and that was just like the perfect time. Anyway,
So what are the dates of Replay FX?
there are dates.
Yes.
Let's
Let's educate Brian.
July, what?
It's the first weekend after July 4th.
Yes, like the 6th through the 10th, I want to say.
6th through the 9th, or
All I
somewhere
know
in
is
that
it's a month
ballpark.
earlier and we have less time to get ready.
So
And as you can see, Gorgar will be our final game.
Gorgar.
So he's actually played. I don't know if he was watching previous rounds, but Alec did really well with the Schatzing and lane strategy on this, and Eric's group. Not sure. Jason was in that group no, that was Walt. I don't think Jason was in the group that played this scorecard.
Literally can't remember an hour ago.
Nope.
Nope.
No, I can't remember 5 minutes ago. I am very, very, very tired.
It's been a long weekend for us guys. It's been a long day. We've got Swizzlefish in the stream chat here who says he wants Duran Duran in all pinballs, and I agree. I think that'd be a great pin.
Okay, so Jason had a bye, as did Luke, in the quarterfinals. Jason did not play this. Luke did not play this because Jason and Luke were in the same group in the quarterfinals.
So John is
semifinals.
taking on the
Luke
Shatting.
did play. They both played it in the semifinals. Now, Jason struggled 46,000.
Right.
Luke 46,000. They both had struggles in the semifinals on this game.
Really, and similar scores.
Yep.
So
It's going to be interesting how this plays out.
looks like John was adopting the Shatting
He was
strategy.
doing the Shatting.
We will likely see the same thing from Alec.
Okay, now, as it works out, we got John player 1, Alec player 2, so we'll have players 1 versus 2 for the third place battle, and then players 3 and 4.
I have to say, I think this play is really uncharacteristic of Alex. He's usually much more deliberative. He's usually much calmer.
Yes.
I don't know why he's playing rattled tonight, but this isn't the first game that he's playing like this. He just seems like...
I wonder if exhaustion even gets to someone like him. I mean, it is quarter till 12.
Yeah.
Right.
And as we say that, he's like, here, let me get this 50,000 like it's
Also,
nothing.
like, he's young, right? Like, he might not... I don't mean this as a bad comment, but, like, I am a world-famous insomniac. I'm used to being up this late and not ever getting any sleep. This might be, like, I've been up all day and I'm really tired, and I'm going to not play as methodically as I used to, as I usually do.
Maybe he's just trying out something different. You know,
Or
at
maybe he's
the
trying
end,
something
The end
different.
of the tournament. You know,
Look,
put
it's
the final
working
position
for him.
doesn't matter. Yeah, absolutely. Made a really
Oh,
great save
wow.
there. A really
Nice.
powerful dig there.
And back under control. Now, I would have slowed it down. No, I wouldn't have. Who am I kidding?
No, you
A
wouldn't.
good player would have slowed it down there and got their composure. But Alex just firing away. 50,000 lit again. That one doesn't go.
This, I mean, like I said, this is a different style of play for him, but it's working.
I like it. Makes you feel all warm and fuzzy.
Yeah. Also, with these machines, like, you can hear the sound right now.
That's
the
the sound my heart
thumping
makes when
heartbeat. It's
somebody
like-
recommends Chinese food
Do it faster.
or Mexican.
Like, you need to shoot the shot. It's gonna go away.
Hey, there
The
you
heartbeat tells you so.
got the backhand. Another 50,000.
Nice backhand there. On these, on games like this and Centaur and others, the pace of the sounds start to get a little bit quicker as you
Yes.
progress in the ball. It
Yep.
kind of it raises the tension.
It's 100% on purpose. It raises the tension. It makes the player feel rushed. There's a
Oh, wow. Look at that inlay.
Wow.
Disgusting.
Yesterday was Alexander's birthday, and
Was it?
yeah, and the game is giving him some late birthday love.
Happy birthday.
Pop bumper into the
Happy
50 and an
birthday,
inlay.
Alexander. How old is Alexander now?
He just turned 13. I'm
Yep.
just kidding.
I think he's 17 now.
17, yeah. He's grown
That
up
was
to
a
be
fantastic ball.
quite the polite young man. Always a pleasure to be around Alec.
Absolutely.
And his father, too.
Absolutely.
He does the really great intergalactic championship trophy. He's a very,
That
very
thing is so
masterfully
heavy.
skilled iron worker, or metal worker, I should say. But really great folks in the Kazmarchiks. So we have Jason Boker stepping up again. As we mentioned earlier, had a little bit of struggles on his previous round with Gorgar. This comes down to Luke and Jason for the Classics 3 title. Again, we're here at the Pittsburgh Pinball Open, right outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
And
Now, I believe Jason has won classic tournaments in the past, and he's won B division at Pinburgh.
yeah,
He's a B. Did he really? Was
Yeah.
it this past year?
It was
he's no
last
longer
year.
be eligible.
Yeah, him and Andrew Rosa had a great finals battle, and we saw how that worked out for Andrew this year.
Andrew finishing, I think it was third.
Third, yes.
Third. So Another young up-and-coming player who's really developed over the years to be a really top-tier, elite level player. So he finishes Gore. So that's there are Gore targets here, the Gar targets there, and those are what are responsible for advancing the pit value. A little squirrely right now, gets control. So we get confirmation from Chat World that he just turned 17. Thank you, Chat World.
Let's go. Yeah.
I mean, eventually, you got the odds. The odds say that that's going to happen.
That was a solid ball. That was a solid Gorgar ball. I would be happy with that ball because I cannot do 282 on a single ball. That's crazy talk.
Now, Jason only got 48. Luke's up.
That could have been trouble. That was a nice nudge up into the other rubber to get it away from the out lane. Yeah, I did too.
Now it looks like he's trying the Schatzing approach too, and there it is.
So now his spinner's lit. Now do you go for the spinner to put some distance between yourself and player 3?
100% yes.
Yep.
Or I go to the out lane.
Oh, look at that. What a beautiful nudge.
Really.
That was timed perfectly off the top of the sling and back under control.
Every finalist we've watched this evening has demonstrated really, really top-level nudging skills.
I am super impressed because every time I think I am, like, breathing on the machine to nudge it, I end up with a tilt warning. And these guys are just like, you can feel it on the floor here. You can see it on the stream. The machine is shaking. They are nudging it. It's physically moving, and they're, like, in no danger.
Okay, so we got 2 balls left. Alec 282 to John's 20. And then Luke 59, Jason 48. And the heartbeats. John gets a nice in lane there. And then he Schatzes to get the other in lane and gets the 50,000 very quickly. Nicely done. Okay, so John now taking his time. He's going with the Schatz too, trying to get another 50,000 from the pit.
What do you get if you hit the pit before it's like qualified? Before you?
You can see like there's a point value based off of the lights. So right now it's.
He's got no lights lit. If he hits it up there, it's worth literally nothing.
Literally nothing. Yes.
All right. Cool.
And then you can build the lights up from spelling Gore and Gar, or you can do it the quick way with the D and E. And the
That's
stars.
going down the middle.
Yep. We have Brian Pernard in the chat questioning like why would you play this way if you
let's qualify. Why would you play by just constantly Schatzing back and forth? Is what he was saying.
Oh, I mean, any style, whether it's Schatzing, playing on the fly, if you're comfortable with it and you're successful with it, go with it.
Yeah, there's no rule against playing a game a certain way. I mean, if you want to sit there and shoot the GAR targets until your head falls off, I mean that's
I can understand what he's saying is that like we watched this game before. We watched players Schatz back and forth, and it can get a little bit dull as a viewer to just see the same mechanics over and over. But the point is that on Gorgar, all of your points are in those in lanes. What you do to get your points is to Schatz back and forth, build it up, then go for your pit and collect it.
It's like any sport, like football. If running the ball is working well, you keep running the ball.
Yeah.
You want to get more. From what I understand from watching a lot of John Madden, is you want to get them. You want to score more points than your opponent.
You want to get the team with the football.
You want to score the points.
Into the end
you
zone
got to move it down, and you got to score the points.
Boom!
That's what
Tough
they're
acting,
doing.
acting.
And Ryan says, I don't mean that it's not amazing, but it is boring, and I 100% get what you're coming from.
It's
buddy.
and it's not.
Especially when you watch
and as
the
a-
same game multiple times.
As a player, it's no different. As a player, it's really
It's super boring as a
no
player.
different.
Yup.
But there is something to be said for the skill that it takes to maintain your focus on repeating that motion over and over again and doing it
And not
accurately
messing it up.
And not messing it up. You know,
If you
that's-
don't want to see people doing the same thing over and over again, watch Papa TV Live, where if someone
Oh, yeah,
tries
we're
something
terrible.
like this, we will make you do something different. It's Tuesday nights on your Papa Twitch and YouTube stream. Now he's got the 50,000 lit. No, will we go for the? No, he's still going with the shots here.
There are similar, you know, things that can happen in games like Gottlieb's Roller Disco, Gottlieb's The Amazing Spider-Man,
He needs to hit his
Centaur.
pit. He needs to hit his pit.
He needs to Shats the pit.
Now the players Alexander and Walt earlier were able to backhand this.
I would not
Jason,
trust my ability
Going
to
for the
backhand
forehand.
it.
Yeah, like my brain doesn't look at that trigonometry and
I
say
don't
like
think you
this
can
is
back- yeah.
doable.
Good
Nope.
patience to get it
But
to the right
even
flipper.
even if I've seen it 1,000 times,
I can't do
my
it.
brain won't.
Yep.
Did not stick. Did not count.
Brian Dye and I are very much the same player, only he's better at being a player than I am. But we both look at the things, we're like, you can't do that. That's not. Oh, I guess it is. Yeah, you can totally do that.
And
Ah!
nothing you can do.
He forgot to zag again. Oh wait, that was John.
Not a bad
Okay.
ball. Still ahead of John.
Now he'll have that 50,000 lit come the beginning of next ball.
Oh, that's nice that it carries over.
Okay, so Luke right now down by 29. Gets some nice pop bumper love. He has the A and the B. And back under control. And getting the Shatson going.
Oh,
Ooh. Now, it was a nice bailout there. It allowed him to get back under control really quickly and earn a few points doing it. Zone D and B asking in the chat.
Tilty.
Okay, now this is interesting.
I think that might have been a tilt through.
It
Did
no,
he- no,
he
first
just
is
he
lit.
got John a warning. He took one of John's tilt warnings.
So now the ruling on this can go a couple ways. John can be awarded a compensation ball at the beginning of a new game, or he can play this as it lies. So we'll see what decision he decides to make.
So, yeah.
7. He elects to play it as it lies. Is going to play gentle touch, score much.
He can also let it sit for a few more seconds. Like, he has up to 60 seconds to just let it calm down, which he's going to take, and he's going to take some deep breaths, and he's going to think about his strategy right now and how he doesn't want to touch this machine. What was it? Was this the one that Wartrick tilted through on Thursday night?
Yes.
John had 339,000 points going into at the end of ball 2. Wardrick, player 4, tilted through John's ball as player 1. Now, John didn't need a compensation ball because he was so far ahead of everybody at the end of the player 4. But
John waving to us as he will finish in 4th place.
If you tilt through another player's ball, that's an automatic 0.
Yes. Yes. Now, there is no penalty to a player the first time if they get another player a tilt warning.
Correct.
There is
Which
no
is what
penalty
just
for that,
happened.
which is what just happened. Now, if it were to happen again later in a tournament, and at this point there is no more tournament, at least for the classics,
Right.
then it would be treated as an
Ooh.
actual tilt. The player would be given a 0.
So now Alexander finishing up. He will finish 3rd here.
I
He'll
would
have a
not be
weekend of
hitting it
2
this
thirds.
much.
That's a good point because he could tilt through.
He could
and
tilt. He could tilt his own ball. He could tilt through a next ball, which would just give him a giant goose egg. Like, I
And
would
give
be
John
so
third.
much more cautious. Which is why I am not the, top 20 ranked player that he is.
But he wants to get this 50,000.
Nice.
It's something I've always thought about.
And there it goes.
Is like when games like Gorgar first came out and somebody saw that little magnet swirly feature for the first time, people's minds probably blew out of their skulls. They're like, "Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
What
Yeah.
a crazy, awesome thing!" And
There
now
were
we
mass
have,
head
like,
explosions all across
Oh my
Chicago.
gosh.
It
Right.
was travesty.
Here we go.
Oof.
Jason versus Luke. Jason's at 12,000 ahead. He's got the pit lit for 50,000. He can also plunge the B here to get 2x. Real quick, the question about what a tilt-through is, that is when a player tilts the game so hard that their game tilts and the next player's game tilts. So it'd be like player 4 tilting and then player 1's ball also being tilted. Jason had no luck there. A quick out lane, and here we go. Luke needs 24,000 and change.
Ooh.
He has nothing lit.
Did we really just come down to like a couple of flips on Gorgar for this?
Yes, we did. This is going to be
Wow.
exciting.
So this game can be housey or it can be very forgiving. And
he's
on
already
the
up.
fly, Shats.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. What a way to win it if he were able to pull it off. Right now he's got
He's got it.
as long as he doesn't tilt, he's got it, and he knows he's got it. He gave the thumbs up there.
If he doesn't tilt.
If the bonus
If the
counts
bonus
correctly.
counts, if he doesn't tilt. And that's the other thing with these older games, the bonus might just
He's
mess
going
up.
to walk it up and take
Whoa!
the win.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
So close.
Woo. Congratulations to Luke Nahorniak, the Classics 3 champion. We're going to bring him over here into the booth. That was remarkable. Welcome into the booth, Luke. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was some amazing play there on the last ball. Jason had a rough go, and you knew what you needed to do, and then the quick flipper skills to get that bonus, doing the map.
I looked down, saw 93, saw 8, said that's 101.
So remarkable. You played great this whole round. So tell us about your Classics 3 experience.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I played a lot of Supersonic today, a lot of Blackjack today.
What was your favorite game in the bank?
Probably the Blackjack.
Yeah?
And then all of the finalists today with some unbelievable skills with shatzing and nudging. You guys definitely put on a clinic, and we appreciated the great play. And we'll be giving away some trophies here. You won Cleveland earlier, so Papa TV's been coming, seeing a lot of you winning.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
For
Absolutely.
you, definitely.
Absolutely.
Glad that you came down from Minnesota for the event. And how are you sitting in Maine?
I think I'm around 11th,
Okay, so you're above the line.
Just
You're in
outside
a
the
great
bye,
spot, and
but qualified, I think.
that's all you need, a chance to play tomorrow.
Yep. That's
So-
what I came here to do, play on Sunday.
Well,
And-
that was some.
And we
some
got Doug
great
Polka
play.
bringing you over your trophy. And let's see,
Thanks, Doug.
what's the envelope say?
First place.
First place. $231 and a trophy. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
So we want to thank everyone for watching tonight. Once again, Luke Nahorniak, the Pittsburgh Pinball Open Classics 3 champion. Second goes to Jason Boker. Third, Alexander Kazmarczyk. And fourth, John Replogle. We will be back tomorrow morning for coverage of finals. I don't know if we'll be starting in wooden rounds, but the finals start at 10:30. There'll be a round that we won't cover, and then we'll be coming in at some point. We'll be doing 2 rounds again, so the semifinals and the finals. We might sneak in earlier, depending if James
if
feels
James
like.
gets his beauty sleep.
Oh, okay. So the finals tomorrow are best of 5 head-to-head. It is not Papa style. That's right. So it should be very interesting to follow the groups again.
Good luck to everybody competing tomorrow. Thanks to
just
everybody for tuning in.
Keep your eye on YouTube and Twitch to watch the finals tomorrow. Thank you to Elizabeth and Brian for joining me in the booth today. And congratulations once again to Luke Nahorniak, our Pittsburgh Pinball Open Classics 3 champion. I'm Pete Hendricks. Thanks for watching.